guys, welcome back to my channel. How's it been going lately? I've been going pretty good. I've just been busy, that's why I haven't uploaded a let's get that out of the way. Today I thought that I would talk about like a topic that's like a little bit, I don't know, it like weighs on my mind every day. So this is like a kind of broad topic about like, you know, young people and technology and all of that kind of stuff. And it was kind of like brought to a head when I was like at work the other day. So I work in a retail shop, retail shop, whatever, call it what you will. And, you know, I'm doing my thing. I'm like serving customers and stuff, and I approached a dude, an older gentleman if you will, and I was like, oh, do you need help finding anything today? And he was like, yeah, could you help me find this kind of thing? And he had like this little cable that like had different ends and attachments on it. So it was like a USB cable that had like the ability to charge an old iPad, like Samsung device, because it had like a micro USB, and then it also had like the normal lightning kind of cables on it for like normal like newer iPhones and all that kind of stuff. So it was like, do you have anything like this? And I was like, I don't really know off the top of my head. Why don't we just go over to like the cable section and I'll try to like see if we have it with you, I guess. And when I got over there to like the cable section, one of my co-workers was like, do you guys need a hand? She like later told me that she had served that guy before on like a previous occasion, and he was like kind of rude, so she was like trying to help me together. So it's like an act of solidarity, like, this guy's an asshole but I'll be here with you and I'll hold your hand, like that kind of thing. And like he explained to her like, do you have this kind of cable with a USB on one port and then a 30-pin charger, a micro USB cable, and like a lightning cable on the other side of it? And she was like, we don't really have that kind of stuff because it's kind of like a novelty electronic item, but I have seen it in places like a servo. And this older gentleman obviously has his own hang-ups about young people and their slang. He like purposely misheard her sentence. He like purposely took the fact that she said like a servo and took it to mean that she was saying like as one of those like connecting words in a sentence, like when you don't know what to say and you just say like this, and like then she was like, and I was like, and meh, and he obviously has like some friggin' vendetta against using the word like in that kind of situation. And he like responded to her after she said, I've seen it at places like a servo. He was like a servo? Is that like a hairdresser? Like, or other newsagents? And she's like, no, like a petrol station, a service station. And then this older gentleman was like, oh, I thought that you weren't using like in the other way. It's like a disease with you young people. He said like a disease with you young people. And I'm like, okay, sorry, we don't have the cable, but it's a novelty item that you could find at places like a servo or online or at Kmart and like that kind of stuff, because it's not like a general kind of item that you would typically find. It's a novelty kind of like cable. I feel like that dude's attitude against the word like and the way that like young people speak is kind of like, it's like an issue that's been weighing on my mind for like a while now. I used to be one of those teenagers who thought that if I spelled everything correctly and I used perfect grammar in all of my written sentences, that would make me cooler than other people, because I was showing to other people that I was smarter than them. I equated my intelligence in regard to like linguistics and all that kind of shit. I thought that that would make me smarter and better than other people, but like that's just not really the case. I'm glad that I grew out of that stage. When I was younger, I bought a bunch of books. I've never fucking read them, but I had this idea that if I filled like my room with books, if people came and saw my room and saw all these books that I had, they'd be like, wow, she's a pretty smart and interesting person. But like, I'm not. I didn't read the books. The only way that I would have become more interesting is if I read the books and I had taken on the story that they had like instilled inside of that novel. But I didn't read them at all. I just had them as like some facade so that people thought that I was smarter than them. And it troubles me when older people are always like, young people, they're ruining language with their way that they're just using emojis to fucking speak all the time, and they're using text talk and all of this shit. Oh my god. LOL made it into the Oxford English Dictionary. What a waste of linguistics, and the English language is going to shit. And I just don't agree with any of those people who feel that way about the English language. I just don't. Because frankly, I'm from the school of thought where linguistics and everything about like sociology, it has to change over time. If linguistics stayed the same as it had been like back in Shakespearean times, what would that say about our society? If we didn't move forward and if we didn't find new meanings for words, I feel that if we today, we still spoke in the same manner that like Shakespeare spoke, that means that in like 400 or so years we hadn't evolved. We hadn't invented new words. Shakespeare invented new words. Do you think that the people before Shakespeare got like super pissed off and they were like, meh, look at this dude with a beard and no hair on the top of his head but hair on the side of his head and wearing a freaking collar all the time. He's just making all these weird words. Like, people try to pin all these like social problems on young people and like millennials and how they're just like tweeting all the time, so they're not making real like sentences. A tweet is a real sentence. I remember in one class in uni we had to make a tweet. We had to basically write an essay thesis in 140 characters. To have those limitations of 140 characters, you have to make your argument concise. Like, you have to make it so succinct. You have to abbreviate for some things. You can abbreviations, you're allowed to use abbreviations, and you're allowed to use the word like as a way to join it to another sentence, or you're allowed to use like in place of saying or you're allowed to use like to mean that someone said something, or that something, like has such a big meaning, especially when you say, and then she was like this, because there's so much more context behind that. If you say that, well, I said to this girl that she didn't look real good, and then she was like, how dare you, there's so much like deeper meaning. A lot of the times she didn't actually say like, how dare you, but you're like conveying the subtext of it. You're conveying the emotion that that person had shown on their face when they might not have actually gone, how dare you, but in reality all that they might have done was that's all that. And by saying like, how dare you, you're showing like, you're being able to show the subtleties of like human emotion when you're retelling a story. So I don't understand how this old guy can come along and say it's a disease with you young people, how you just say all these fucking stupid words all the time. But words are just like so incredible to me. I don't get it. A lot of the time when people talk about like technology and all that, and how technology is like ruining our day-to-day lives, every like fucking 14-year-old girl on Snapchat, she's just ruining my life. She has an Instagram page with like 2,000 followers. It's ruining society. This is what's wrong with society. The fact that we have like so much social media, that's ruining society. But I read about this in one of my essays, but the way that technology has advanced, if there were to be a terrorist attack, all the people would have to do is set out an EMP to fry all of our electronics and then just like bomb power stations so that we can't have electricity anymore. We rely so much on like general electricity. There's like little bits of electricity in your car just to start your fucking car. There's electricity in your refrigerator to make sure that you don't fucking die of food poisoning by having like day-old fucking milk, okay? Like, there are so many other things, there are so many different aspects of technology that we are reliant on. To say that we are only, to say that social media is the worst part of technology that we're like so reliant on is just fucking stupid. So I have issue with an older guy saying that it is like a disease with our younger generation, that we are saying like in place of fucking she said this, we're saying like, and instead of saying we say like. My coworker didn't even say like in those contexts. She said that it's in places like a servo. There's nothing linguistically wrong with that. That's a grammatically sound fucking sentence, and he has an issue with her being grammatically sound? You sound like the dumbass, sir. I just have an issue with older people thinking that things have to stay the same as it was when they were younger. If things stay the same, and if things like stay stagnant as they were like 20 years ago, we haven't achieved anything. That's all I'm really getting at. If you're old and you have an issue with the way that younger people speak, who cares? If you feel like you can't understand them, then maybe you should fucking learn. Maybe you should get with the times and learn and teach yourself new linguistic trends. Just fucking go on fucking Urban Dictionary and then learn all the new slang, and then you'll be a better person for it, because you're still learning. I feel like if you get to like the age of 60 and you don't want to learn past that point, it's your fucking fault if you get left behind. That's just my opinion though. If you have other differing opinions, I would love to hear it in the comments. But otherwise, I will see you in my next video. My face looks so tan compared to my hands, but I swear I'm not fake tanning, cause that's the other side of my hand. I'm just naturally this tan. Except it is the end of summer, so that means that I won't be tan much longer. I'll go back to a pale gray state and I won't look that good, but that's just life. Thank you.